aren't with us too long. Life is the most precious thing you can lose. While you were here, the fun was never ending. Life a minute was only beginning. Captain Coleman Nichols is one for you. Never get that feeling you can go on. Just remember the side it is that you're on. You've got friends with you till the end. If you're ever in a tough situation, we'll be there, no hesitation. Brotherhood's our rule, we cannot bend.
Fans, here are the first 11s, beginning with the away side, Iowa Raptors FC. In goal, number 0, Kennedy Butenbach. Number 4, Jordan Holmes. Number 6, Anna Vasquez. Number 8, Jess Reinhardt. Number 10, Alondro Zermano. Number 11, Alexa Vasquez. Number 12, Eliza Evans. Number 15, Desire Adams. Number 16, Regan Lindsay. And number 19, Desiree Jimenez. And number 23, Haley Runyon. And now, the first 11 for your Milwaukee Torrent. Your captain, number 31, Kelly Swenson. In goal, number 1, Mickey Easter. Number 8, Lauren Hernandez. Number 9, Lola Wojcik. Number 10, Lainey Higgins. Number 12, Ryan LaConte. Number 19, Alexa Miletus. Number 22, Maddie Solaric. Number 23, Elsie Twombly. Number 27, Greta Hansen. And number 28, Abigail Hall.
Please rise. And now, to honor America and all that it stands for, as well as our freedom and those who serve to protect it, the playing of our national anthem.
From Charles Hart Park in Wauwatosa, on a 79-degree day where the winds are gusting out of the west, They're blowing in some good soccer today, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for FC Milwaukee Torrent Women's Soccer. Good afternoon, everyone. Dan Pfeiffer with you from the west side of Hart Park. As today it will be FC Milwaukee Torrent's women's side coming in with a record of 4-1 and tied with the Chicago Kicks for first place in the Lake Michigan division of the Midwest Conference of the Women's Premier Soccer League, taking on the Iowa Raptors, who come in out of Cedar Rapids, Iowa with a record of 2-1 on the season thus far. They are in fourth place of the 5 teams that come out of the Lake Michigan division. Mentioned that it is a 79-degree day. It is kind of hot and sticky today. It is actually Tosa Village Classic Day here in Wauwatosa. As the camera pans to the north side of the field, the left side of your computer screen, you will occasionally see a bicycle race going by. Freddie Mercury might have a thing or two to sing about that when that happens, but in addition to the biking that is going on today, we also have some football, so you can take your feet off the pedals, but not off the gas, as FC Milwaukee Torrent tries to continue its early season success against this Iowa Raptors team that it has already faced and beaten on the road this year, back on June 16th. So 9 days ago, it was the Torrent getting a 6-2 victory at Prairie High School in Cedar Rapids against the Iowa Raptors FC club that is in front of them today. Sydney Segal, Lainey Higgins, and Elsie Twombly each had braces in that match, as FC Milwaukee Torrent was able to get that victory. Ultimately, the Torrent have only dropped one match thus far in Lake Michigan Division play, and that came against the Chicago Kicks, who, again, entered the day with a match above the Torrent. They came in with 6 matches played and a record of 4-2 versus the 4-1 record of the Torrent. So the Torrent today with a chance to take first place all by their lonesome in the Lake Michigan division. And since the disappearance of the Chicago Red Stars reserves squad, the Lake Michigan division has felt very wide open for the Torrent to take advantage of and try and get to that point where they can get into bigger playoff soccer. And this year, it's looking like if they can get a victory today, they could do exactly that. Of course, the Torrent, 22 goals to the good thus far this season, despite having dropped that match. A goal differential of 22 with 26 goals scored versus just 4 allowed. And again, 2 of them did come against this Iowa Raptors FC squad, which has a goal differential on the season of -3. They have scored 11 goals, including those 2 against the Torrent, but they have allowed 14. You heard my do-it-all producer / public address announcer, Kevin O'Connor, give us the starting lineups just a little while ago. We'll run through them one more time real quick as we get ready for the kickoff for FC Milwaukee Torrent. Lauren Hernandez, Lola Whitechick, Lainey Higgins, Ryan Locante, Alexa Miletus, Maddie Soleric, Elsie Twombly, Greta Hansen, Abigail Hall, Kelly Swenson, the captain, and Mickey Easter is the keeper today for the Torrent. Meanwhile, for the Iowa Raptors, it'll be Jordan Holmes, Anna Vasquez, Jess Reinhort, Alondra Zermeno, Alexis Vasquez, Eliza Evans, Desiree Adams, Kylie Ann Cluck, Desiree Jimenez, and Haley Runyon in the first 11 for the Raptors, with Kennedy Butenbach in goal for Iowa. We are underway here at Hart Park. And already the Torrent have possession. Of course, they were the ones with possession off the kickoff. We get a signal looking for the offside flag. It does not go up. However, that is a through ball that is played too far through for Ryan Locante. And it'll be a goal kick for the Raptors as the first possession for the Torrent of the match ends up being empty. You can kind of feel and maybe even hear to a degree the wind coming from behind our broadcast position across the pitch. It will swell as the day goes on. There have been occasional dark clouds that have drifted over the top of us here at Hart Park. However, we are not expecting any rain today. Big storms came through the area last night, passed through both the Milwaukee and Chicago areas, but everything dry now. All you'll see passing by today are some bicycles and some trains on the north side of the pitch. Raptors looking to play a little more direct to start out, but it hasn't quite worked out for them. This is a ball to the near side, and that's Maddie Soleric. She is out of Marquette. Ball played over to the left side. That is too far ahead of Alexa Miletus, another Marquette Golden Eagle out on the pitch for FC Milwaukee Torrent. Elsie Twombly, also of the Marquette persuasion. One of the neat things about FC Milwaukee Torrent's women's side is seeing a number of Marquette players come together with some UWM influence as well. Of course, Kelly Swenson, one of the better players ever to come out of the Panther program, And that is saying a lot as you have two storied programs in both Marquette and UWM. Out beyond the touchline, we'll have a throw in from the defensive third for the Iowa Raptors. They formed a solid core, and this has been a FC Milwaukee Torrent women's side that has been together for the most part, has had kind of a central group that has enjoyed playing with each other as we get a quick foul against the Torrent. Not from a very dangerous position, however, so this will be a simple free kick for the Raptors. You can tell there's good chemistry between the back line, which Swenson has anchored through the years, and she's had her sister alongside her at times as well, Katie Swenson. Ball played out beyond the touchline, another throw in for the Raptors. And generally speaking, it's been more of the Marquette midfielders and forwards that have provided the attack for FC Milwaukee Torrent, but it's been a good combination, and hopefully this year, if things can work out well for the Torrent, especially if they can get 3 points today, they can feel like they're very much on track to finally getting the chance to play some more meaningful soccer after this year is done. Of course, last year, Torrent did make the postseason as well, but ended up falling in the first round. And it is a bit of a challenge sometimes when you get to the postseason at this level, because at that point you're also fighting a lot of college influences as well as the Torrent try to play direct. 50-50 ball. Way off her line is the Raptors keeper Butenbach. Safe play by Reagan Lindsay in the back. We misidentified her as Kylie Ann Cluck. Nothing comes of it for the Torrent, but we get a foul. That goes against the Raptors, and we will have a set piece for the Torrent. Played forward into the box, headed away. Raptors thinking about countering. The Raptors only have 2 substitutes available to them today, so on this warm day, and we'll get a foul against the Torrent. Our referee today is Armin Sadik. He says, not that far forward. Let's play this a little bit further back. And the Raptors do so. Quick ball over the top for Alexis Vasquez. Played back to Eliza Evans, who had a goal in the first matchup, but that's not a very purposeful ball. That'll go out over the end line, and it'll be a goal kick for the Torrent. Again, players at the end of the season do have a tendency to get pulled away. In fact, at times, we've even seen teams have to go into the high school ranks to try and pull players in to play in the postseason. So keeping a cohesive group together into the postseason, not always the easiest thing, but it is an accomplishment just to get there. And, of course, the Torrent would love to do exactly that. Ball over the top. That's actually a pretty good ball, but it's just a little bit too far ahead of Elsie Twombly, who, again, was one of 3 Torrent players that recorded a brace in the first matchup between these two teams 9 days ago back in Iowa. It is collected by Butenbach, and she will send it away. Second ball, won by the Torrent. Higgins over to the far side. Torrent will reorganize. It's one of the impressive things about this FC Milwaukee Torrent women's team, the fact that they really keep their shape very well. At this level, you have a tendency to see the game collapse a little bit. Making a move, Maddie Soleric, cross into the box, right through, on and in! Just like that, Alexa Molinas, 1-0, FC Milwaukee Torrent in the 7th minute. Soleric to Molinas, we are Marquette, and the Torrent have a 1-0 lead. Molinas gets a hold of one of those mini soccer balls and sends it up into the crowd. Nice souvenir for a fan in the first row. And just on time, the train has come in for FC Milwaukee Torrent. 1-0. Beautiful cross. Raptors got caught flat-footed. Torrent on the board. Miletus didn't score in the first meeting between these two teams, but she's got one now. Trying to get another cross. That'll deflect off a Raptor corner kick for the Torrents. This is another area where the Torrent are dangerous, and it has a lot to do with the fact that they can play balls long. Again, that wasn't a ball with a lot of pace from Solaric necessarily that went through the box, but the Raptors, some miscommunication. Someone's got to step in front of that ball and send it away. That time they had two Raptors in the right spot. Now you see that if you're FC Milwaukee Torrent, you say, okay, they're going to over-pursue a little bit. Maybe we can take advantage of that as well. Make that extra pass when an extra defender tries to step to the ball, a second defender. A lot of time there will be a player wide open in front of the goal. Good start for FC Milwaukee Torrent. They've got the 1-0 lead. Raptors just kind of trying to control out of the back. The Torrent momentarily put a stop to that. That'll be a ball sent forward by Reinhort. Can't find her striker, though, and now the Torrent will try and build out of the back. Nice touch to the outside. The Torrent using the width of the pitch early on in this contest, really trying to extend this thin Iowa Raptors team. That ball will just stay along the touchline like a bunt that doesn't want to go foul. Torrent will possess, though. Dispossessed. Nice touch by Alexis Vasquez. Both Alexis and Anna out there for Iowa today. Ball through the middle. This might be an opportunity for the Raptors. Chasing it down. Shot on near post. Great save, Mickey Easter. Corner kick, Iowa. As Alexis Vasquez put a curling ball towards the near post. But Mickey Easter, full extension, gets the save. And now the Raptors will try with their own corner. Vasquez got ahead of the Torrent defense. Chose to go one touch, and it was a good touch at that. Right into the box, hit it away by the Torrents. Raptors are there. They'll try and reset. That's Ana Vasquez out of the back. Looking for Alexis Vasquez. Wanted a handball off that play into the box. Nothing there. Torrent will try and counter. It's disrupted. Alondra Zermeno forward to Alexis Vasquez. Contact, no foul. Eliza Evans. Couldn't put much pace on that ball. Coming off her line, Mickey Easter. Another Marquette Golden Eagle out there for the Torrent. She's able to make the play at the edge of the 6. Torrent will restart out of the back. Kevin O'Connor giving me a little bit of the business about bringing up Marquette as much as I am. Can't help it, I've been their PA announcer for 17 years. Torrent again working out of the back. Ball over the top. Nice run by Solaric. However, she can't chase it down. That one had just a little bit of outward spin to it. As you also see Kurt Lewis, the head coach of the Iowa Raptors, on the bench. Trying to point out some tactical things to his team. Making some points to his midfielders about where and when to curl. Ball played back. That is Kelly Swenson. Nice ball to Lainey Higgins. All of a sudden the Torrent finding space through the middle. Options for the Torrent. Twombly looks to the outside. Couple moves. Ball played into the box. Sputenbach able to come off her line. She picks that up. Raptors will come back quickly. One touch for Haley Runyon. Able to keep it in on that side. Remember, it's the yellow lines here at Hart Park. It can be a little bit confusing if you're watching at home. They have quite the variety of sports they play at this facility. Is Mickey Easter just inside the 18 will pick that up. The red lines are lacrosse lines for the women's game. The blue lines are lacrosse lines for the men's game. The yellow lines are for soccer, and of course you've got the white football gridiron as well out there, so even some black lines and dashes. That is for field hockey. Not a lot of field hockey being played necessarily in the southeastern Wisconsin realm just yet. Lacrosse is a sport that is growing by leaps and bounds. Ball played to the far side. Solaric keeps it from going out near the corner. Different angle with Hernandez. Can only find a blue shirt with that first ball. Is able to get it back with the second ball. 1-2 ball does not work. Raptors will come back the other direction, trying to play it with the dribble. Eliza Evans. Torrent dispossess. Towards the box. Sent away. Desiree Adams. 1v1. Reinhort to the outside. Can't find a teammate. Torrent coming back the other way. Wojcik in the middle. Sent away from her, and we'll have a throw in for FC Milwaukee Torrent. Towards the corner it goes. Down goes the Raptor player. No call from our referee. Edge of the 18. Ball crossed in. Punched away by the keeper. Now cleared up into the air to the edge of the 18 by the Raptors. One big bounce off the AstroTurf here at Hart Park. Controlled by the Torrent. Higgins. Ball sent in. Tried to curl it in. Did Maddie Solaric, who is never afraid to put the ball on net. We have seen her playing that left wing quite a bit today and had the assist on the first goal of the match, but Maddie Solaric, at least when it comes to her time out here for the Torrent, not shy about going on the attack and putting the ball on frame, and she did exactly that there. Coming back the other direction, Torrent able to control. Hart Park, one of the more utilized high school facilities in all of southeastern Wisconsin when you consider that both the Wauwatosa East and Marquette football programs play their games here. Tosa West used to play their games here, but then they refurbished their own facility on campus. They have a nice turf field there off of 45 here in Milwaukee. Wauwatosa East High School just to the north of here. On the other side of the track today for the Tosa Village Classic, the bike race. And you see a few casual bikers going by. Those are not racers right now on the north side of the pitch. Of course, you see them even less as the ball moves to the center of the pitch, and over the ball is Desiree Adams. Played forward. Momentarily slips away from the Torrent defender, Greta Hansen. But Kelly Swenson, as she always does, has a nose for the ball. Now the Torrent will try and counter. Couldn't see if Twombly was onside or not. Doesn't matter as the pass doesn't reach her. Reinhort, forward. In the middle. That's Alex Warziniak that's out there as well for Iowa right now. Number 17 playing in the middle. Throw in for the Raptors. 16th minute of the match. Torrent went up on a goal in the 7th minute by Alexa Miletus. That's the difference right now in this 1-0 contest. Warziniak played a little bit out wide. This is what we talk about when we say, yes, there's a meeting of the minds near the penalty spot. Everybody avoids Mickey Easter. Alexis Vasquez says hello, as does Easter's teammate Kelly Swenson. Easter handles the ball and the coming friends in terms of players coming to meet her. Sends it away. Torrent still with possession in the back after being challenged by the Raptors. Nice touch by Twombly. Now she plays a ball out forward. Is that going to reach Solaric? Yes, it does. Solaric goes off the side of Reagan Lindsay. She'll possess again. Near the edge of the 18, looking to make a move. Nice defense by Lindsay. Taps it away with the left foot. And Lindsay just clears the ball down the pitch. Torrent will reestablish out of the back. Hansen back to the middle. A few touches. Hansen will get it back. Back towards the middle, outside. Solaric left unmarked. That is not a good decision on the part of the Raptors. However, can Solaric keep it from going across the end line? No, she cannot. She does get a touch before it goes over, but she can't angle it towards the goal. And this will be a goal kick for Iowa. Relatively quiet match for the last 10 minutes since the Torrent got the first goal of the contest. And again, this was a 6-2 match when these two teams met the last time in Cedar Rapids. So don't be surprised if the scoring opens up, both as the match goes on and as you start to see some of these players tire. Because again, the Torrent, maybe with a little more depth today than the Raptors. Although the Torrent have a bit of a thin bench today as well, from what it looks like. Foul against the Raptors. Torrent will get to send a free kick in from an angle here. About 31 yards out. Give the Raptors credit. They have been ready for the Torrent set pieces today. Some of the familiarity of seeing a team a second time. Seems like they have always been in the right place at the right time. Again, only getting caught flat-footed on the one goal thus far. Ball played out wide. That's Higgins. Into the middle. 1v1. On and in again. Elsie Twombly. Add another to the total. It's 2-0. Higgins to Twombly, and the Torrent double their advantage. Give Twombly 3 goals total now against the Raptors this year. And it's 2-0, FC Milwaukee Torrent. The confetti flies, the Torrent celebrate. Substitutes come on for the Raptors. Desiree Jimenez will return for Iowa. She will be joined by Kelly Leon. Looks like they will replace Haley Runyon and Alex Warziniak. But you don't have to replace that number 2 that's on the scoreboard right now for the Torrent. That belongs. It's 2-0. Miletus and Twombly now both on the board for FC Milwaukee Torrent in this contest. Raptors with the substitutes now going a little bit harder on the attack. Eliza Evans can't maintain possession, comes back quickly to try and defend. Torrent try to counter. Miletus, who scored the first goal for the Torrent, has it tapped out. Throw in for Solaric. She had the assist on the first goal. Hernandez. Torrent content with this 2-goal lead. About halfway through the first half at this point in time. To again continue to work out of the back and try and find quality opportunities. Both goals out of the run of play for the Torrent. They have had plenty of opportunities both from corners and from set pieces. Have not capitalized on those just yet. Unclear call from the linesman now. He does award a corner to the Torrent. Kind of stood there at first, didn't put his flag down towards the corner, but now he says, yep. Last off the Raptors and Adams. Corner to be swung in. Again, with the wind in the face of the corner taker. Expect this to be an outswinger. Kind of a direct ball headed on, and that one is in! Elsie Twombly, 2 straight goals. The Torrent have a 3-0 lead. Building a brace in just a couple minutes' notice, Elsie Twombly. believe it was Abigail Hall that sent it in. And just as we talk about how the Torrent haven't been able to capitalize on set pieces just yet, bam! Andy Davi says, hey, Dan, look at this. Whole bunch of subs for the Torrent as they take this 3-0 lead. Sydney Segal, Savannah Sieverts, Sophia Miranda, Sophia Balistreri, Caitlin Owens among them. Said that the Torrent bench looked like it was a little thin. Well, that was because a lot of the players were running down the track warming up. Now they're out there. Now you've got fresh bodies. You've already got the 3-0 lead. Close to the edge of the box. No call for a foul. And they say that the ball goes out beyond the end line. The official at first seemed to indicate they will say there was a foul outside the box. Okay, so we're going to get a set piece for the Iowa Raptors. This will come from about 22, 23 yards out. Maybe the best opportunity the Raptors have had today since the run very early in the contest. In swinger, over the top. They do get ahead on it, but they can't convert. Alexis Vasquez was right there. Just couldn't direct it towards the goal. She had the whole net in front of her. Dangerous moment. However, the Torrent cannot complain about the fact that that one went wide. Another sub in quickly for the Torrent here. That's Alexa Miletus returning for FC Milwaukee Torrent. It looks like she's replacing Lola Wojcik, who comes off and has a quick conversation with both Andy Davi, and it looks like maybe the trainers come over as well. So that might be partially an injury substitution, but everything coming up roses early on in this one for FC Milwaukee Torrent. Pair of goals within a pair of minutes for Elsie Twombly. And she has just been a Raptor killer. Cast her in the next version of Jurassic Park, folks. 4 goals now in the 2 matches. The Raptors will bring their substitutes back on. That is Warzeniak returning, joined by Haley Runyon. Again, with only 2 substitutes available to them today, they're going to have to try and keep as many players as fresh as they can. Eliza Evans comes off for Iowa. Also getting a breather for the Raptors will be Ana Vasquez. Throw in for the Raptors. Mentioned the 4 goals that Twombly has had against Iowa. Of course, today, 1 via the foot and 1 via the head off of that corner kick. Nice bouncing goal that went over the top of everybody and went in. Ball played forward by Katie Swenson. That will find the waiting hands of Kennedy Butenbach, the Raptors keeper. Certainly can't pin any blame on Butenbach for the goals that have been scored thus far. It's just a matter of the fact that the Torrent, again, are such a well-connected team. And you look at the fact that the Raptors have had to shuffle in players today, and it is a bit of a ragtag crew, as Coach Kurt Lewis kind of confessed when we were downstairs before the match talking with both coaches about what we expected today. But when you have a group like this, and this tends to happen at this level where, when you go on the road, it's not the easiest trip for young people to make at this time of year. You do have players that get pulled away for other commitments and whatnot. And there is a reason why the home field advantage ends up meaning a little bit more, perhaps, in the WPSL, because it is a level at which, yes, going on the road is a challenge, whereas playing at home, typically it's a lot easier for the players that are located around their club. Usually their home is somewhere near where they are playing, so it's a lot easier for home sides to have their full complement of players when they come out in matches like this. So, again, that's more of an issue oftentimes when you're defending than it is when you're on the attack. Over the ball, players rely a lot on their instincts, but you really have to talk when you're defending. And again, when you're playing a team that knows where each other are going to be, as the Torrent often do, it becomes that much more of a challenge. And that's what's impressive about this squad that Andy Davi has built. He has, again, constructed a team with, again, quite frankly, some of the best college talent that has come out of the Milwaukee area over the course of the last 6-7 years. If you don't have your A game when you come to face the Torrent in Milwaukee, you may end up facing a 3-0 scoreline in the 29th minute, which, oh, by the way, just happens to be what we have right now. Not a knock against the Raptors at all either. Just kind of the nature of things. And again, it's difficult, too, when you see the scoreline in the first match. But this is a league where you do see some results every once in a while that take you by surprise. So, again, all credit to the Raptors who made the trip and are giving it their all today, even though they find themselves down 3-0, trying to maybe close in on the Torrent now, although too heavy of a touch from Alexis Vasquez. And off that touch, Mickey Easter is able to disrupt what she had going, had beaten a defender, and had some room along the near side end line, but couldn't control enough to try and finish. And Easter disrupts. Now she sends it away with a low-line drive punt. One touch for the Raptors, but then controlled by Kelly Swenson. To the far side. That's Sophia Miranda now into the match for the Torrent. Ball played forward, goes off a Raptor. And now they'll take possession. Room on the near side for Warziniak. But once again, Kelly Swenson always around the ball. That's what's impressive. Maybe a little bit of a heavy touch from Easter. She gets challenged, and that goes out beyond the end line. Tries to just clear the ball and ends up being deflected by Alexis Vasquez up top. Dangerous moments there. And I can speak quite a bit to Mickey Easter and her history, having seen a lot of her matches, as mentioned at Marquette. Had the privilege of being at just about every home match. In fact, actually every home match through the course of her career there, and actually over the last 16 years at Marquette. Easter is worked on some things. So there's been some room to improve her distribution in particular, but you're seeing it develop, and especially today, you know, it's the sort of thing where, yeah, she's working on where am I sending my punts? Am I finding someone? Ball on, touched by the Raptors in the box, calling for a handball to Torrent, not getting it. It'll go out beyond the end line. Corner kick, FC Milwaukee Torrent. Here we are talking about Mickey Easter at the other end of the pitch, but Easter's also had a couple injuries that have forced her to miss some time at Marquette, but she looks healthy now and getting the job done today for sure. Been challenged a couple times by the Raptors today, but they have not been able to put one past her just yet, as opposed to the Torrent, who have found their way past Kennedy Butenbach 3 different times. Foul on the Torrent in the box. Referee says there was a challenge just a little bit from behind. And we will have ultimately the equivalent of a goal kick. It is technically a free kick for the Iowa Raptors, but it is virtually a goal kick. Butenbach is the one that sends the way. Ball played towards the outside. Couple touches. Back towards the middle. Miranda sends it back outside. Chipped on. Across the face of the goal, and no, but a nice shot. The Torrent continue to threaten. Now with the substitutes out there getting it done. In the middle. Couple touches, a turn, ball played outside by Segal. That'll go off the side of the net, but that's now a couple good balls that have been played forward by Liesel Aden. Manning the right wing for the Torrent right now. Ball played into the middle again. And you can see the Torrent starting to break down this Raptors defense. Ball spending a lot of time in that attacking half for the Torrent. Towards the middle, Miranda played back outside. Raptors able to possess. They'll try and build from the midfield. But that's the difference right there. So many of those passes in the midfield have not been able to connect for the Raptors, whereas the Torrent are able to play some through balls. Looked like there was a handball. Indeed, there was against Miranda. Tried to make the turn. Ball just kind of rolled up off the side of her boot, caught her wrist. That'll be a free kick for Iowa. 34th minute of the match. Torrent averaging a goal every 11 minutes right now, although they have come much more closely together than that. Miletus in the 7th minute, Twombly in the 19th and the 21st, and that's why the Torrent are up 3-0 right now. Miranda, the substitute. To the near side, that's Savannah Sievert wearing number 88 for the Torrent. Nice 1-2 ball, Hernandez. Near side, played towards the middle. A lot of white shirts there. Over the ball, Miranda, on and in. Goal number 4, FC Milwaukee Torrent, Sophia Miranda. She's had good touches in the middle the last few minutes, and now she capitalizes. 35th minute, 4-0 FC Milwaukee Torrent. Not only does Miranda score the goal when she throws the mini soccer ball into the stand, she almost throws it onto the tennis courts behind us. Forget soccer, man. Get her a softball glove. 4-0 FC Milwaukee Torrent. A few subs also in. Cousin subs, we should say, for the Torrent. I'd say better bread, better subs, but you know, when it comes to the comparison between Cousin subs bread and FC Milwaukee Torrent substitutes, first off, it's apples and oranges, or it's bread and substitutions. But secondly, they're both so good. I just can't compare. I will say this. I am a fan of the provolone from Cousin Subs. It is on the hidden menu. So it's something that they used to have on the regular menu, but they don't anymore. You can still order it, though. It's just cheese, lettuce, tomato, mayo, some oregano, and some onions. But you know what? It's a nice, healthy choice. And it really showcases that quality bread that they bake fresh every day at Cousin Subs. And we're glad to have them on board as a sponsor for FC Milwaukee Torrent as well. Good French fries, the cheese curds. They have that special breading on there. By the way, while we've been singing the praises of Cousin Subs, there was a corner for the Iowa Raptors that was eventually tracked down by Mickey Easter. And also we are starting to see some umbrellas pop out in the crowd, which means we may have some faint raindrops falling here at Hart Park now. We had said that we didn't think we were going to get any rain, but with the clouds that were floating past, again, coming out of the west-northwest, it did seem plausible that we could get a little bit of rain today. And it's kind of funny. Andy Davi is actually looking into the crowd, and I think he's kind of like trying to tell them, hey, put those umbrellas away. We want to make it look like the weather's really nice here. And so maybe we'll turn this into propaganda and say, rain? Rain doesn't happen here. There's no such thing as rain in Milwaukee. Every time the Milwaukee Torrent play, it's a beautiful, pleasant, lovely day. Quick substitution for the Iowa Raptors. Eliza Evans comes back on. She replaces Ana Vasquez, kind of part of the substitution rotation we have seen for the Raptors. Alondra Zermeno is also off the pitch right now for Iowa. Ball played over the top. Butenbach there to pick it up near the edge of the 18. She'll distribute with the arm towards the far side, Reinhart. Good ball to Leon. Kelly Leon came on as a substitute for the Raptors. Back to Reinhart. Iowa's got something building here. Skipping over the top is Alexis Vasquez. Nothing there, though. Mickey Easter. To the near side. That is Sievert. Towards the middle. Last goal scorer was Miranda. It did come in the 35th minute. Locante. To the outside, Katie Swenson. Both she and her sister. Great speed and tremendous poise over the ball as well. Knocked away momentarily by the Raptors. Now they look to counter again. Playing well back is Alexis Vasquez. Torrent dispossess. 1v1. Interesting challenge. More between players than over the ball. Now a ball played towards the middle. A couple touches. Played back out. Can't get by the defender. Once again, we've seen some good defense from Raptors FC today. Yes, they do have 4 goals against them on the afternoon, but a lesser squad would have more. Offside flag goes up. Alexis Vasquez had all kinds of room on the near side, and that was for a reason because she was past the last defender. 39th minute, moving towards the 40th minute. 4-0 your score. Malitas Twombly, and Miranda, attorneys at law, also goal scorers. Of course, when we're talking about players that are Marquette alums, we should make sure we clarify when they are or aren't attorneys, since Marquette does have quite the law school. But pretty sure that's just a humorous reference to how many law firms are named with at least 2 partners from the same family. Not even 2 partners from the same family in this one. It's 2 goals scored by Elsie Twombly in the match. Again, giving her a total of 4 against the Iowa Raptors thus far this year. 2 in Iowa, 2 in Wisconsin. If only we could get him to play in Illinois, then she could get 2 in the middle as well. Maybe stop like halfway along on the freeway there, near Rockford. Play him down there. My producer, Kevin O'Connor, kind of cringing at me. I know Rockford is kind of a cringe place at times, Apologies to anyone watching us in Rockford today, but yeah. Talking about minor league baseball, actually, in that part of the world. Yeah, there's currently it's the Beloit Sky Carp right now, formerly the Beloit Snappers and Beloit Brewers, but I want to say they're a single-A affiliate of the Marlins right now. Believe that's the case in the Midwest League. I personally am more of a Northwoods League guy myself when you talk about lower-level baseball in the state of Wisconsin. Indeed, it is confirmed by Kevin. Miami Marlins. Foul against the Torrent as we wind our way into the final minutes of the first half. And even though we have had 4 goals, we have not had many other stoppages. And given that there may be a good chance that this result might not be in doubt today, given both the score line at present and the relative lack of depth for the Raptors today, do not be surprised if there is not much stoppage time, if any, added to this first half. Often common at this level. We'll see. I have been proven wrong before, but it's all up to Armin Sadek, what he decides, our referee today. Nice move over the top of the ball. Jordan Holmes, haven't mentioned her name much today. She sends it towards net, but didn't have much of an angle. Tried to get more curve on it, but with the wind at her back. Not easy to get that, and the result will be a goal kick for Mickey Easter and the Torrent. Possession about 65-35 in favor of the Torrent today. I would say maybe closer to 70-30, but the Raptors have had a few opportunities over the ball. We have seen more lopsided matches in the WPSL than what we have seen today. Despite the scoreline, Torrent just taking advantage of opportunities today when they've had the chance. Again, the finishing ability of this Torrent squad, impressive. And not only impressive, but the fact that you have the first line, the starters, that were able to get 3 goals, and then it was mostly with the reserves out there where that Sophia Miranda got goal number 4. Momentary pause as Sydney Segal goes down. We will have a foul called against the Raptors. Segal appears to be okay. Wind has shifted directions a little bit, kind of now blowing a little bit more out of the south. It was coming more from the north earlier, and it's kind of a good thing. If anything, you want those winds to be coming more from the west and the south than the east and the north, which has been the case in Milwaukee in the last week or so, because, in fact, the last few weeks, typically the prevailing winds, this part of the world, do come out of the west, but when the winds have been coming from the north and the east lately, the problem has been with those wildfires that we've had in Canada. It's been bringing a lot of that smoke and less than great air down from that part of the world. And I know personally I've been dealing with just the scratchy throat and that not great feeling of breathing in all that kind of crummy air when I've spent any extended amount of time outside over the last few weeks when the wind has been blowing from those directions. Hasn't necessarily been noticeable. It's not like those scenes that you saw out of New York City where the sky turned orange and people were walking around in masks, but still something that you kind of pick up on if you just spend enough time outside. And so the more the wind can blow out of the south and the west rather than the north and the east where they're having the wildfire issues up in Canada, the better for the air quality here in Milwaukee and the better for everyone who spends time in this part of the world. So, getting an indication that we will have 2 minutes of stoppage time, so we will get some stoppage time in this first half, as it turns out, despite the 4-0 scoreline. Clearly indicated from our fourth official and the training staff. Appreciate their help today. As always, at this level, we commend everyone who is helping to build the sport of soccer from the grassroots on up. Torrent try and make a run, but Raptors able to play it back and at least maintain control for a second. Now a little bit of chaos. Ball played, 1-2, nice touch. Miranda tries to get her second goal, can't do it. Controlled again by the Torrent. Segal, shot blocked, goes out wide. Cross. Knee towards the goal, but a diving save made by Butenbach. Lola Wojcik coming through the middle. Trying to make it 5 for FC Milwaukee Torrent, but she cannot do it. We are into stoppage time in this first half. What we have noticed today from the Raptors is the fact that once they get inside the 18, that's where they start to panic a little bit. And again, we have seen a lot of just flat-footedness from the Raptors when they've been caught back. They are willing to run and step to the Torrent when they're playing the ball forward towards the 18. You see that right here. But once they get into those spots where they've got the goal line right at their back, that's where some of the communication has broken down. And the Torrent have taken advantage today. Good touches in small spaces. And a good point, too, from my producer, Kevin O'Connor. One-touch play as well. Curled in from the right foot of Ryan Locante. But that's an easy play for Butenbach. We've made the comment that this is a fun FC Milwaukee Torrent women's team to watch. There is a lot of quality out here. And if you are the director of a youth club or involved with lower level soccer, not just in southeastern Wisconsin, really, but anywhere around the state in Illinois, this is a great team to come up and watch play because they do so many of the little things right. And a lot of the credit for that, yes, it does go to Andy Davi. It goes to the college coaches that these players have had, but you know, a lot of it is the dedication of the players themselves. These are hardworking young women who absolutely love the sport of soccer. You can see their passion for the game and their mentality as that ball goes off our official and he says, you know what? If that's going to happen, I'm ending this first half. Armin Sadek says, don't hit me with the soccer ball. Let's talk this over for 15 minutes. We are at halftime here at Hart Park as Armin Sadek does end the first half. Apparently, it just took a nudge from the soccer ball for him to blow the whistle. He's smiling. His linesmen are smiling. And pretty much everyone here at Hart Park is smiling that is not wearing a blue shirt and blue shorts. 4-0 your score. FC Milwaukee Torrent with the lead on Iowa Raptors FC on the strength of goals by Alexa Miletus in the 7th minute, Elsie Twombly in the 19th and 21st minute, and Sophia Miranda in the 35th minute. We're going to take pause. We'll have some halftime figures for you when you come back. We'll also talk a little bit about what to expect in the second half of this contest and what's to come for this FC Milwaukee Torrent women's team in the next few weeks. This is FC Milwaukee Torrent Women's Soccer. Welcome back for the second half of this WPSL match between FC Milwaukee Torrent and Iowa Raptors FC. After 45 minutes of play plus a couple minutes of stoppage time, it is FC Milwaukee Torrent 4, and the Iowa Raptors yet to get on the board. Alexa Miletus scored the first goal on a cross along the end line by Maddie Soleric in the 7th minute. Elsie Twombly added goals in the 19th and 21st minutes. She now has 4 goals against the Iowa Raptors after FC Milwaukee Torrent beat the Raptors 6-2 the first time these two teams played 9 days ago in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And then just to tack one more on, it was Sophia Miranda right in the middle, able to beat the keeper 1v1, Kennedy Butenbach, to make it 4-0 in favor of FC Milwaukee Torrent. Now keep in mind, we are closing in on the end of the regular season here in the Lake Michigan division of the WPSL. So FC Milwaukee Torrent only has 2 matches remaining. One will be on the road. They have to play at Midwest Select SA Muskrats. And then they will be back here next Sunday. Same bat time, same bat channel, but a huge match against the Chicago Kicks. And again, the Torrent had played 1 fewer match than the Kicks when this one kicked off today. The Torrent came into this one with the equivalent number of points. Both the Torrent and the Kicks came in with 12 points, but the Torrent 4-1, the Kicks 4-2. So if the Torrent can secure these 3 points today, they will go 3 points to the good against the Kicks. The Kicks will need to come up here to Milwaukee, assuming everything holds, assuming that the Torrent can get those 3 points on the road, which again is not a safe assumption against the Muskrats. But if they can, Midwest Select SA 2-3-2 on the season coming into today, 8 points, 3rd place. Not really in the discussion to win the Lake Michigan division, but certainly a challenge, so we can't assume those 3 points. But if the Torrent can get the victory in that one, we will have an outstanding match to wrap up regular season play here in Milwaukee next week Sunday at 3 o'clock. Looking forward to that one. As we begin the second half and the Raptors begin with possession, they will move from our right to our left on your computer screen, smart television, however it is you may be watching us, maybe mobile device. Whereas the Torrent will move from the left to the right or north to south if you're using cardinal directions. Raptors try and play a long ball to start their attack in the second half. However, it falls into the arms of Mickey Easter, and now the Torrent will move quickly down the right wing. Iowa plays it back to keep it away from the Torrent towards the touchline, right in front of Andy Davi, knocked out by Ana Vasquez. Throw in for the Torrent. Ryan Locante will make the throw with Andy Davi right in her ear, giving her instructions. Controlled momentarily by the Torrent and Lainey Higgins. Higgins had 2 goals in the first matchup between these two squads. She does already have an assist today. That came on the first of the 2 goals scored in this contest thus far by Elsie Twombly. Nothing comes of that Torrent attack, though. The Raptors have Butenbach send it towards midfield, controlled by the Torrent. Played out towards the right wing, and Locante. Nice move by Locante. Gets past the defender. A lot of contact. They'll say it went out off of Ana Vasquez as she made contact with the ball, in addition to running into Locante, who kind of threw the brakes and had Vasquez run right into her backside. Throw in again for the Torrent. This time it will be Abigail Hall right in front of Andy Davi. Heavy challenge played by Haley Runyon on Hall. Hall also with an assist in this contest. That came on the second Elsie Twombly goal. Alexa Miletus had the first goal in the match, although she has the ball headed away from her. Throw in for FC Milwaukee Torrent. Trying to work the short-sided game in the corner. Nice touch by Andy Davi. Not called for a handball, though, as he did pop it into his hands. He was able to hand it off to Abigail Hall, who is actually wearing a kit. Andy Davi, pretty good player in his own right. He played back in Deutschland, Germany. Now here in Milwaukee and helping build a game of soccer here in this proud city that so many of us call home. Butenbach is able to end the Torrent attack for the moment. Raptors will try and build out of the back. Jordan Holmes forward to Alexis Vasquez. She has been over the ball quite a bit when the Raptors have been on the attack today. Raptors trying to build with the dribble. We're going to get a foul as Lainey Higgins got accidentally tripped up by Alex Warziniak. Torrent will start things back up in the defensive third. No pressure really from the Raptors at this stage of the game. Torrent will build out of the back. This has been where the Raptors have really focused on trying to slow down the Torrent, is just not allowing them to get into the attacking third. When the Torrent have been there, they have been dangerous. And again, it's that movement, that sense for each other that the Torrent have that has made the difference in this match. That has been the big reason why they have these 4 goals. And as mentioned, it doesn't take many touches for the Torrent either. Hasn't necessarily been a lot of 1v1. There's some room along the touchline. Looking for a handball in the box, not going to get it. And we've got a Raptor player down as it looked like that ball struck her pretty much right in the face. It was either in the face or the chest. Couldn't see from this distance, but we're going to get the trainer coming on as either a shot to the head or a shot to the chest, one or the other. She put a hand up to her right cheek, so yeah, we're hearing from seeing the replay that, yeah, it was a shot to the face, so they'll check her out. Obviously, chance of a concussion there, and we take no risks with such things nowadays, so we will see Reagan Lindsay, the player who took that shot, come off, and it will be Kelly Leon who comes back on for Iowa. Throw in for the Torrent. Ball played over the top, sent away by Jordan Holmes for Iowa. Iowa takes possession after winning the 50-50 ball. A little bit of space on the near side, but can't string the passes together. Abigail Hall in the back for the Torrent. Comes to the near side, Locante. Little contact, no call. Ball into the middle. Those have been very dangerous for the Torrent today. Close to a handball for Wojcik, no call. Torrent are able to keep things moving. Diving save made by Butenbach. That was Lainey Higgins looking to add to the 2 goals that she scored the first 2 times these 2 teams met. We did mention Higgins had an assist earlier today. That time it was a ball on frame for Higgins, but Butenbach is there. Never fails to impress at every level of the game, the athleticism we see out of goalkeepers. And I will admit I did not necessarily grow up around the beautiful game, but I've now worked around soccer for close to 25 years, and I am still consistently impressed as a guy who was more of a baseball and a football guy growing up, how often we see keepers just flying through the air making great saves every level again of the sport. It's something that they teach at a very young age now. Physicality, the commitment. The phrase in baseball sometimes is sacrifice your body, and keepers sometimes with reckless disregard. As the wind picks up here a little bit at Hart Park. In fact, we had a napkin that blew onto the field and almost a second soccer ball blew onto the field from the official's bag. The 4th official's bag in the middle, and he had to go and chase that down before it went over the touchline. Last time I checked, FIFA rules only allow 1 ball on the pitch at a time. Game would be a lot more interesting if they had 2. That will be punched away as the wind kind of forced that ball to drift a little bit on Butenbach. It knuckled a little bit on her. Took a little turn towards the outside. Train keeps it rolling all day long. As it comes in on the north side of Hart Park, on the south side of Hart Park, Torrent, edge of the 18, ball played towards the middle. Trying to fight her way through 3 defenders, Elsie Twombly, as she is sometimes wont to do. And oftentimes when you see that at other levels, you question that decision. But Twombly, the type of player who can get through those players and then a couple more, an almost Messi-like quality to her. This one will go out, and it'll be a throw-in for the Torrent on the track on the far side. You can see the wind rustling through the trees in the background there. It has picked up. It was 19 miles per hour at the start of the day. Here in Milwaukee, we sometimes like to measure the wind by the height of the waves on Lake Michigan. It was a thing that they used to do at Milwaukee Brewers baseball games. They would always, at the start of the game, give the temperature, the direction of the wind, and the height of the waves on Lake Michigan. 3 to 4 foot wave height today was what it said, but no small craft advisory. So if you're out there in your rowboat or your dinghy today, then first off, we thank you for watching our broadcast. If you're out in the boat today, maybe trying to catch a fish, but just saying, watch for those waves coming over the edge of the boat. Locante didn't quite catch all of that one as she tried to send it in the middle. A lot of contact between Hall and Anna Vasquez, who is back out there. Speaking of getting back out there, Reagan Lindsay appears to be okay, has been checked out, and she is currently at the midfield stripe waiting to sub back in for the Raptors, and that is good to see. Indeed, Lindsay does get the chance to come back on. Looks like she will replace Alondra Zermeno. Indeed, it is Zermeno that comes off in the 55th minute. 4-0 FC Milwaukee Torrent. All the goals came in the first half. Torrent have it in the attacking third here, coming from the near side. Right in front of the long jump pit. Looks like it's got some giant dominoes in it. Those are just weights to hold down the tarp over there, along with some tires and the base for some orange barrels. Nice 360 move. Shot deflected up in the air, and it'll go in! Goodness me, Lauren Hernandez! Pop goes the weasel off the deflection from the defender. The ball goes into the goal. It's 5-0 FC Milwaukee Torrent. Now, in this scenario, you do ask whether or not that should be an own goal or not, but really that wasn't necessarily redirected by the defender. It was on target. We might have to consult with some authorities about that one. For now, I'm going to say that's a goal for Hernandez. Definitely put the ball on towards frame, and it's not like the redirection necessarily changed anything for the keeper. She saw what had happened. As we do come back the other direction quickly for the Raptors, that ball will be deflected out. That should be a corner kick for Iowa. And it is, as Kelly Swenson did knock it out. Goal in the 56th minute for Lauren Hernandez to make it 5-0 Milwaukee Torrent. And she is now the 4th different scorer of the day for the Torrent. That tops the 3 scorers who combined to score 6 goals, 2 apiece in the first meeting between these two teams. To an extent, the difference has been the Torrent defense in this match. Of course, Iowa did get 2 goals in the first meeting. One of those goals was scored by Eliza Evans. We haven't seen her up top a lot today, playing in more of a midfield position. Raptors holding a little more possession here after the 5th Torrent goal, and we did see a Raptor go down. We'll get a whistle. These are the moments you don't like to see in these matches, because again, this is a developmental level of the game, and there is definitely some pain right now. And we don't speculate here. There's myriad things that could happen in that moment. You hope it's just a little bit of pain. When we say it's myriad things that could happen in a moment like that, we mean that. I mean, it can be anything from a cramp to something much more serious. And sometimes it's the injuries that don't look painful that end up costing players a lot of time. Sometimes it's the injuries that look the worst that turn out to just be kind of part of what's going on. So we do see Desiree Jimenez come back on for the Iowa Raptors, and that is a very frustrated Jess Reinhart coming off, and that could be for a number of reasons. She could just have wanted a foul on that play. Again, we don't want to speculate. She waved off the trainer. She'll take her seat for now, and we'll just hope that we see Jess Reinhart again before the end of this match. We will get another corner kick for the Milwaukee Torrent here. This one will come from the southeast corner of Hart Park. In swinger. In the box. Foot on it for Elsie Twombly. But Kennedy Butenbach is in the right place at the right time. And we talked about one touch. It's all it took for Twombly to put that one on frame. She already has 2 goals today, aiming for that hat trick. Had the opportunity right there, but Butenbach, again, just happened to be in the right place. The bicyclists for the Tosa Village Classic make their way past on the north side of Hart Park. This part of Wauwatosa in the summer is just such a vibrant place, and we're a little bit east of where the main business district is here in Wauwatosa, and there's a number of fine establishments over there. It's not the easiest area to necessarily navigate via a car, but what you do is you park your car someplace, and everything's within walking distance. And ice cream shops, number of little bars and coffee shops. I mean, this is just a wonderful little part of town, and good sushi, as Kevin O'Connor points out, our producer. Yeah, it's got it all. They have a couple neat festivals down here, too. They have Tosa Fest a little later in the year, but this is a wonderful part of town to live in. And, you know, I've mentioned a few different times that I have an affiliation with Marquette University. Is Reagan Lindsay is back into the match. She'll put that ball on frame. And I'll tell you what, maybe have her get hit in the side of the head with a soccer ball a lot more often if she's going to take shots like that. Mickey Easter, a diving save, and she needed to use every inch of her length to keep that one from going in, as Reagan Lindsay is back out there and asserting her presence quickly with a outstanding chance. But give credit to Mickey Easter, who makes the save for FC Milwaukee Torrent. Quick substitution for the Torrent. Sydney Segal returns. And that's Lola Wojcik, who will come off for the time being. Corner kick for the Raptors after the great save by Easter on the shot by Lindsay. Sent in by Lindsay again. Sent away by Kelly Swenson for FC Milwaukee Torrent. Anna Vasquez to the outside. That's a 9-iron where I think he wanted the driver. The bicyclists go by again as Mickey Easter maybe waves hello as she goes back to get a ball for a goal kick. And again, when we're talking about how great this Wauwatosa area is, that is not to slight any other part of Milwaukee. I mean, in the summer, southeastern Wisconsin is just a vibrant, vibrant place. We are just complete with the first weekend of Summerfest down by the lakefront. Number of great acts. I had another event that I was working last night. I was very disappointed I did not get out to see Elvis Costello last night at Summerfest. Zach Brown Band played a couple nights ago as the headline act at the big amphitheater Sophie Tucker also the other night as well. And we have been known to play Purple Hat from time to time here at Hart Park. Obviously, Milwaukee Brewers baseball, great sports town. The success of the Bucks in the last few years, the championship that they were able to win in the 2022 NBA Finals. 2021. I was trying to line up the years with the pandemic there. I messed it up. And, of course, FC Milwaukee Torrent soccer as well, with the men getting a 2-0 win last night against the Iowa Raptors men's side. And out here on this occasionally blustery, but for the most part, very nice day here at Hart Park in Wauwatosa. Wisconsin gets a bad rap for its weather, and definitely have to admit there are times during the winter when it can get a little bit miserable in these parts. You've maybe seen even some training videos where Torrent side has been out here, and there's been a dusting of snow covering the pitch. Shot on just over the top. An ambitious effort from Lauren Hernandez trying to get her second goal in a row. Threatened. But Butenbach ultimately did not have to put a hand on the ball because that one went high and wide. Zermino and Reinhort return for the Raptors. But once you get past our kind of cold and sometimes rainy springs here, June, July, August, really into September and October, just gorgeous times here in Wisconsin, and so many trees, great stuff to do outdoors. I'm pretty lucky. I live on the south side of town. They just put a new bicycle trail in by us, the Power Line Trail. Been getting out and riding my bike more this summer, and church festivals even all over town. I mean, Milwaukee is a spectacular place, and for those of you who are watching today in Cedar Rapids, nothing against the Quad Cities, nothing against heading up to Minneapolis, nothing even against heading towards Chicago, but Milwaukee is an absolutely lovely place this time of year, and if you can get here in the next couple weekends to check out Summerfest or enjoy the lakefront, even just spend some time at some of our year-round places like Discovery World or the Milwaukee Art Museum. And yes, as Kevin points out, world-class art museum. The architecture symbolic of the city with the wings of the Calatrava edition. Enough Chamber of Commerce stuff for me, though, as the ball gets pinged off the crossbar on what was really just a cross coming from Alexa Miletus from the near side. And a scrap for possession on the far side, and they'll say that it was Hernandez who was the last one to touch it over there. So we'll have a goal kick for the Raptors. 67th minute of the match. It is now 5-0 in favor of the Torrents. Trying to keep the clean sheet going for Mickey Easter in goal today. Wouldn't mind adding another goal or two, certainly, but it's not necessary at the moment. Torrent staying on the attack as much to keep the Raptors off of it as anything else. Ball played to the near side. Zermeno back out there for the Raptors. And once again, Kelly Swenson. You try to play a long ball towards the middle. You try to fool that Torrent defense, and Kelly Swenson is just always right there. Just a nose for the ball and an instinct for the game. Or Ziniak gets around a defender, far side, puts a ball towards Easter, but Easter able to grab it out of the air and then start the attack going the other direction. Counter for the Torrent. Segal over the top, a little too far, well outside the 18, Butenbach. She'll send it back in the other direction. Raptors able to come away with possession. Kelly Leon to the far side, Jordan Holmes. No, Milwaukee has been my home my entire life. Family roots here go back over a century now. Grandfather made the move down from Pulaski, Wisconsin, up north near Green Bay. back in the 1910s. I like to say sometimes that if you cut me, I bleed cheese. He worked at Miller Brewing for close to 5 decades. My father worked in state government. My mother worked in the burgeoning medical industry here in southeastern Wisconsin, worked at a couple different hospitals. I have the opportunity, of course, to work at Marquette University, as mentioned, so big Brewer fan, big Packer fan, and, of course, big supporter of soccer in southeastern Wisconsin as well. All kinds of new faces headed out onto the pitch for the Torrent once again. We did see this mass substitution in the first half, and this is occurring at about the halfway point in the second half as well. Savannah Sievert, Sophia Miranda, Katie Swenson. The usual suspects head back out there. Alexa Miletus comes off. Greta Hansen comes off. Ryan Locante comes off. Abigail Hall comes off. Kevin O'Connor, who's trying to be both the PA announcer and the producer for the broadcast, tosses his hands up in the air and says, bunch of people for a bunch of other people. That'll be good enough. Chipped over the top. Actually, pretty nice ball. At the end line, trying to get a touch on it. Twombly can't do it. Goal kick for the Raptors. Great run by Twombly. Great ball played forward by Higgins. Starting to feel a little more humid out here. The wind has definitely shifted to be more out of the south than out of the north as it was at the start of the match. Far side, Jordan Holmes gets past the defender, plays it a little bit behind Alexis Vasquez, and that will cost the Raptors possession. Mickey Easter gets her footing, sends the ball towards the near side. Sophia Balistreri over there. Balistreri, 1-2 ball right back to her over the top. They're going to say that Higgins is onside. She's got a path towards the goal, plays it towards the goal, and it's just a little bit inside the near post. But we get an indication that, was it touched? No, they will say it was a goal kick for the Raptors. I was a little surprised that they considered Higgins to be onside. Might have been the defender on the far side that she was inside of. But the near side linesman let the play go on, and she was able to get a shot, just couldn't put it on frame. Torrent still on the attack, though. Caitlin Owens batted around. It goes out, and now it'll be the Raptors with a throw-in. Mentioned all those lines out there at Hart Park, and again, a lot of use for this facility, and it's not just competitive sports either. You see the track here, and Hart Park is typically open to the public when there are not sporting events or practices going on, and it is very common on a day-to-day basis to see members of the community utilizing the track just for walking around and exercise, jogging, maybe preparing for 5Ks and whatnot. Nice rubberized track here. They did recently replace the turf as well. Behind us, mentioned the tennis courts. Great ball played forward, by the way. This will be Sophia Miranda. Tries to make a move around the defender. Decides to play the ball towards the top of the 18. Twombly towards goal, over the top. Twombly spun around her defender, Desiree Adams. Saw the opportunity, just couldn't keep the ball down enough. Yeah, there's 8 tennis courts behind us. There's also a softball diamond behind us, and you've heard my contemporary Scott Wagner talk about some of the softball games that have been going on while there have been Torrent matches. No softball going on today. Then there's even more tennis courts, 4 more, behind the softball diamond as well. And that's just what's all behind us. You can kind of see what's off in the distance, too. They've got a nice stage when they have Tosa Fest. They'll have some of the acts on that stage as well. There's a couple wide-open fields. I've actually filled in a wiffle ball league that plays some of its games out in the open areas of Hart Park. Not any of the softball diamond type areas. They just kind of have some open grass, and they set up their fences and throw some chalk lines down and play some wiffle ball. Fun free time activity. Makes you feel like you're 11 years old again. Again, just a dynamic facility. And I know Andy Davi has been very pleased with the fact that there's a lot of opportunity for fans to gather before and after matches, places that they can go, things that they can do. Again, it seems like a long time ago, but there are those of us who remember when the Torrent actually started out playing their games over at Eline Soccer Park. Still a fine facility, don't get me wrong. Home of the state championships, ball played through to the middle. One touch around the keeper. Great move by Budenbach to get back and prevent Miranda from getting her second goal. Wow, Sophia Miranda onside, according to the linesman. Makes a move. But wow, what a recovery by Budenbach. It looked like she had been beaten by Miranda, but she gets back, extends a leg, makes the save. And now that's a through ball that's going to get through everybody and head towards the end line. Letting it go out is Jordan Holmes. Goal kick for the Raptors. Again, it's been an impressive day for Budenbach, even though she has allowed in the 5 goals. It's not like there's been much she's been able to do when those goals have been scored. We mentioned that 5th goal by Hernandez. Went off the defender's foot up in the air. Budenbach had plenty of time to identify it. It's not like she was out of position. It just happened to dip right under the crossbar, and there was nothing she could do. Back on for the Raptors, Anna Vasquez. She will replace Alex Warziniak. '75th minute of the match. Torrent flagman running up and down the stands right in front of the broadcast position. Along with T-Man, the famous, if not infamous, superfan for the Milwaukee Torrent. One of our favorite guys. Swenson will play that one back to Easter. Raptors will get a throw-in the attacking half. 76th minute of the match. Torrent defense trying to collapse. Alexis Vasquez does play a ball back. This will go over the top. Tough play! Reinhort had the shot. That's a dangerous moment for Mickey Easter, and we love Easter's aggressiveness, but when you see her make a dive like that around the goal, what concerns you there is the fact that she made that dive pretty close to the near side post, and always get nervous about that. And she was able to avoid it, and obviously didn't allow the goal as the ball drifted over the crossbar as well. But for better or worse, I have seen that at times. There was a college match that I worked at Division III Alverno College here in Milwaukee where very end of the match, keeper went back to play a ball, and right between her neck and her shoulder, she, just the right spot, kind of where your collarbone is, hit the goalpost and was down for an extended amount of time. The match was virtually over. Alverno has struggled as a soccer program generally the last few years, so it was already pretty much decided who was winning, as we have a bit of a struggle there in midfield, and we're going to have our referee, Armin Sadek, bring our 2 players together to say, no more of that, please. Some extended arms from, looked like Lauren Hernandez there, and also Jordan Holmes. Free kick for the Raptors, taken away immediately by the Torrent. Hit it a little right through the middle for Lainey Higgins. Great ball forward, onside. Crossing over. Miranda to the outside. Trying to play the ball back into the middle. Twombly not able to find anybody. Near side, this is Balistreri. Makes a move, gets around a defender, sends the ball towards goal. Diving save is made. Sophia Balistreri, sneaky little shot through the defense. But Butenbach is able to knock it away. Corner kick for the Torrent. One of the things I tell people who do not spend a lot of time around soccer is that it's not even the goals. It's the moments like that where Balistreri, you're not expecting her to play that shot. She's got two defenders in front of her, and she, for the most part, is moving lateral to the goal. But she takes you by surprise, and she almost is able to get it through. Challenge, 3 players go to the ground. Balistreri sends that one towards goal, but well over. Some raised hands and some questions for Armin Sadek from Elsie Twombly. Apologies for the long pause there. Multitasking up here in the box, but Twombly still shrugging her shoulders, wondering why she didn't get a PK there. Thought she was taken down, but in a 5-0 match, sometimes the referee less apt to make those calls. More substitutions for the Torrent. Back on, Ryan Locante and Maddie Soleric. Maybe the last we have seen of Lainey Higgins and Lauren Hernandez today. Higgins leaves with an assist. Hernandez, the last woman to score for the Torrent in what is currently a 5-0 match. Dan Pfeiffer, happy to have been along with you today. Again, another outstanding day for soccer here at Hart Park. Ball played out to the wing. Jimenez definitely onside. Able to chase it down right at the end line, but dispossessed. Sometimes after a long chase like that, that first touch is the biggest challenge because you're just happy you got to the ball, and the result ends up being a counter for the Torrent. Wow, a lot of contact between Lindsay and Balistreri. We're going to have a set piece for the Torrent. The referee is going to call Lindsay over, and Lindsay is speaking her mind to the referee. Wow. And she doesn't have much to say there. That was pretty obvious that she threw her body at Balistreri, knocked her from vertical to horizontal quite quickly. It was shoulder to shoulder, but it was done with aggression and with force. Balistreri off balance. The Torrent will try and capitalize. Locante plays it towards the middle. Shot blocked off the foot of Segal. Torrent maintained possession. Locante sends it towards net. So what's interesting about a moment like that is you've got a 5-0 match, and the Torrent, for the most part, have been pretty content to keep possession throughout. You get a moment like that where you get a player like Lindsay who decides to play maybe a little bit more aggressive than the moment calls for. That might be the impetus for the Torrent to try and get goal number 6. Not saying, just saying. I've seen it happen before. I was mildly surprised that Armin Sadek didn't consider going to his pocket there. Because again, the thing in a match like this match has been decided for the most part. It's, you just want to make sure that no one gets hurt from here on out. And when you've got a physical challenge like that, well, again, not a clear booking. Maybe it's a situation where you consider it. Back on for the Raptors, Haley Runyon. She will replace Eliza Evans. Throwing for the Raptors. It comes to the foot of Kelly Leon. Goes out, and it'll go back to the Torrent. Over there by the throws pit, if you're familiar with that from track and field. where they would have the hammer throw. Not the javelin toss. If you toss the javelin from there, it might land over at Waterstone Bank. That would not be a good thing. Hammer throw might be a little bit of a challenge there, too. Inside the 18, Vasquez forced off the ball. Torrent able to clear. Nice move by Balistreri, coming over to the middle of the pitch. Been playing on the right wing all day. Now it'll be Balistreri making a run along the right side as this ball is played into the middle. Miranda stepping over the ball once, twice. Coming back, almost deflected by the official. Hey, that's what ended the first half. Maybe they're trying to end the match like that, too. We're only in the 84th minute, but it has been established today that when the ball hits the official, the half is over. Ball played towards the end line, and that will end up being a save as Matty Solaric tried to play a ball from distance, tried to go over the top. But it does fall into the feet of, or fall into the hands of Butenbach, who is able to keep her heels in front of the line. She sends it away, but the Torrent get possession right back. Ball curled around to the near side, and it'll be Caitlin Owens, whose name we haven't had a chance to mention much today. Off the shoulder of Alexa Miletus. Miletus struggling again with Reagan Lindsay, who has been very physical out there. And remember, too, Lindsay was the one who got hit in the head earlier in the match. Now, that was just something that happened by chance. Now we will get a yellow card shown, and this will go against the Torrent. That one will be shown to Alexa Miletus for taking down Reagan Lindsay. And again, given what we've seen from Lindsay already in this match, a bit of a surprise that we didn't see the card earlier for the shoulder-to-shoulder challenge against Balistreri. Now we do see the card come out against Miletus. And you know what? If you're Andy Davi, you might be making the case that, you know what, that booking should have happened on the last foul as opposed to this one. Because, you know, if you stop that earlier, maybe you don't see that. But as it is, Miletus with the takedown from behind. Warranted booking in this situation. Got to get it under control at some point. It just happened to be when the Torrent committed the foul. Ball played over the touchline. And now we have some conversation. Okay, we've got Jordan Holmes over by the Torrent bench. And it sounds like she's talking with the bench. Andy Davi was there as well. And this is a situation where if you're a referee, Armin Sadek, you've got to be listening to what's going on down there because this is late in a match that's already been decided. It's a little bit chippy right now, and you don't want this turning into something where you have to start handing out a lot of bookings really quickly. If I'm a referee in this situation, I really want to make the point to talk to the players and be like, listen, don't make this something that you regret, especially for a team like the Torrent that has two key matches coming up over the course of this next week against the Muskrats and against the Chicago Kicks. Bookings right now don't do the Torrent any good at the end of this match. Raptors wanted the flag to go up for offside. It didn't. There have been a lot of times this near side linesman has seemed to allow the Torrent to be right at the back line of the Raptors. It's not like the Raptors have kept a terribly high line today either. But he has been reluctant to put that flag up today, and it has been to the benefit of the Torrent here in the 87th minute of what is a 5-0 match. Although you wouldn't know it from the intensity right now. That's a great ball played towards Alexa Miletus. Coming off her line, Kennedy Butenbach coming outside the 18. She's able to play it down the pitch. Decided to just take care of business herself. Andy Davi having a conversation with the fourth official about some of what he's seeing right now. Again, this does not feel like a 5-0 match at the moment. Nothing about this has slowed down. Both of these teams still playing hard. The Raptors have forced the Torrent to keep the intensity up with some of their physical play. Back towards the middle, just Reinhart. Good ball out towards the near side. Vasquez, they'll say she's offside. Well, we mentioned the near side linesman has been a little reluctant to put up his flag. The far side linesman, not quite as hesitant. Much to the chagrin of Kurt Lewis and the Iowa Raptors. Couple steps for the Raptors. And there we have another foul. That time, it's Swenson going down. Taken down by Alexis Vasquez. There is a term that is sometimes used in the Premier League and elsewhere. They call that a forwards tackle, in the sense that a lot of the time your players that play up top are not as used to having to defend, and when they do have to make a physical challenge, they are oftentimes whistled because they come through a little bit too hard because they're not used to having to do that. And that was at least categorically the case there, as we have seen Alexis Vasquez up top all day for the Iowa Raptors. But we have also seen Kelly Swenson manning the back all day for the Torrent. I would be interested in hearing from someone like Mickey Easter what it's like to have an experienced player, a player who has played overseas like Kelly Swenson. Was a professional for a time in Europe. Ball played forward, Balistreri, Torrent with some room. Very direct ball. That'll take 1-2 hops, go into the 18, and come to the hands of Butenbach. Searching for Miranda, can't find her. Headed towards added time here. 90th minute. Balistreri. Near side. Little shoulder shiver. Locante back out there. Trying to get a call at the edge of the box. Can't do so. 1 minute of added time is the indication. 1 minute. Chipped into the box. Katie Swenson towards the middle. Toe touch. Not there for Alexa Miletus. Trying to get her second goal of the day. Just got under it a shade. Goal kick for the Raptors, and unless something miraculous happens in the next few seconds here, more than likely we have our final. It'll be 5-0. Kelly Swenson coming up from the back towards the outside and her sister. 1-2 touches, edge of the 18. Could we get that miracle I was asking for? In the box, far side, Balistreri shot on, saved it first. Knocked away. Are they going to say it's in? Yes, they will. A sixth goal for the Torrent. Alexa Miletus. Started the day with a goal, ends the day with a goal. Miletus on the rebound after the save. It comes in the lone minute of stoppage time, and it is 6-0. The Torrent match the number of goals they scored when they faced the Raptors in Cedar Rapids. Braces have been the order for the Torrent as they have scored 12 goals against the Iowa Raptors over the course of 2 matches. In the first match, Segal had a brace, Twombly had a brace, and Higgins had a brace. In this match, Miletus with a brace, Twombly with a brace, and that will do it. 6-0 your final. FC Milwaukee Torrent. Not only do they put 6 more up against the Raptors, they also pitched the shutout. Credit to Mickey Easter for the clean sheet. And Andy Davi's squad now finds itself all alone atop the Lake Michigan division of the Midwest Conference in the WPSL. Chalk up 3 more points for FC Milwaukee Torrent. They're now 5-1 in Lake Michigan division play. They surpassed the Chicago Kicks. And we've got ourselves a huge match coming up next week on Sunday when the Torrent take on the Kicks for the right to claim the Lake Michigan Division Championship. Once again, 6-0 your final. Miletus in the 7th minute, assisted by Solaric. Twombly in both the 19th and the 21st minute, assisted respectively by Lainey Higgins and Abigail Hall. Sophia Miranda in the 35th minute. Lauren Hernandez in the 56th minute. And Miletus one more time in the lone minute of stoppage time in this contest in the second half. Challenging day. Difficult day for the Raptors, and you can see a couple of the Raptors still out on the pitch. Tiring day. But a successful day for FC Milwaukee Torrent. Only one loss on the season thus far, and that came at the Chicago Kicks. They will try and avenge that loss next Sunday right here at Hart Park, and if they do so, even if they come away with a draw, more than likely, they will have a good chance of being Lake Michigan Division champions. But we only say a good chance because there is one match that the Torrent have to play before then. They do have to go on the road to take on the Muskrats. The Torrent do have to take business seriously in that contest. That will be at 7 o'clock on Friday night as the Torrent take on the Midwest Select SA Muskrats. However, the Torrent did win the first match against the Muskrats 6-0, much like today's final score. So the Torrent will try and go on the road and continue to have success as they take on the Muskrats on Friday night, then come back home for a huge contest against the Kicks on Sunday. That will just about do it for our broadcast today. I want to thank everyone involved in the broadcast, all our camera people, all our producers, all the board members with the Torrent, Andy Davi, of course, my outstanding producer and PA announcer and everything guy, Kevin O'Connor, for setting everything up and doing everything that needed to be done. He deserves all the credit. I'm just the guy that you hear talking. My name is Dan Pfeiffer, and I'm saying be a fan. And yes, I do talk for a living. Once again, your final score in this contest, FC Milwaukee Torrent 6, the Iowa Raptors 0. Thank you for watching us. This has been FC Milwaukee Torrent Women's Soccer.